Hello, a pleasant day. And here we are again. Before we enter the kitchen, allow me to explain a few of our recipes. For today, we're going back to Filipino dishes. So we're going for Kaldereta and Pancit Molo. No? So allow me to share my screen. So here. So again, as you can see, all short explanations on Kaldereta, but I think it's important since we'll be doing food presentations after and food plating. So it's nice for us to discover or to know a little bit of background what the dishes we're cooking. So we can at least know what are the garnishes that go with it, or what are the sauces that you can actually add. So Caldereta's name is derived from the Spanish word caldera, meaning cauldron, or actually the pot, where it's sort of a sauce pot, it's it's a type of sauce pot, and of course it was influenced by the Spaniards. As you all know, they were here in the Philippines for 400 years. So a lot of our dishes is somehow inspired by them. The dish is similar to meat stews from the Iberian Peninsula, and it was brought to the Philippines by the Spaniards during their 300-year occupation in the Philippines. So it's important to know that that's how we got it from them. So what is caldereta? It's actually meat stew, or beef. It's a staple Filipino cuisine. We actually cook it a lot in Luzon, and almost any kind of meat, such as beef, chicken, or pork, can be used to make this stew. But beef and goat is most often preferred. In fact, they will always say, what's the difference with afritada? Diba? So ang caldereta may olives. So, pero pretty much tomato sauce, merong bell peppers, maraming similarities talaga siya. Also caldereta, commonly ginagamit talaga siya goat, but mahirap maghanap ng goat meat. So a lot of people now use it with beef, beef cubes, beef ribs, those kinds of part, or dito sa shoulder ng beef, kalitiran is also a good part, to use it with. The vegetables, it also, we cook it with liver paste, may iba-ibang variations, just like adobo. Each household have a different variation. So this one, we have potatoes, olives, bell peppers, and hot peppers, or you can use the store-bought hot sauce, and then next is the Pancit Molo, which we will be making. It's called Pancit Molo, but it doesn't have noodles. It actually uses the molo wrapper. So it's very common in the Visayan region. Yung laman ng molo niya consists of ground pork, or sometimes chicken, or sometimes with shrimps, and some vegetables. And then you make a piping hot soup, often ladled into serving bowls, and garnish it with lots of green onions and fried garlic bits. It's called pancit, the noodle dish, because of the wonton wrapper. Probably it is how you serve it as noodles, Probably kasi pareho lang yung ingredients ng molo wrapper dun sa pancit, So, but this dish resembles the Chinese wonton soup, but the wide variety of ingredients and flavor make this distinctly Filipino. So for today, we'll be showing you how to plate it, different ways, whether we're serving it in a casual restaurant or in a food truck style. So I hope we all enjoy. Pancit Molo also, or Filipino pork bun dumpling, is used a type of soup using wonton wrappers, which originated from Molo district. Molo is actually a place in Iloilo City. So of course, if you want to be a little bit modern, some will actually fry the Molo wrapper and mix it, but some will stick to the traditional and see. So I'll see you in the kitchen. Marinated with vinegar. Marinating it para lang lumambot, yung acid. Of course, mas masarap if you extra virgin olive oil. So just like how we cooked adobo, we're gonna brown the meat first, right? And take it out, saute onions and garlic. which is very much parang ossobuco style, no? Very French method. No? The recipe doesn't say, I actually copied the recipe of Nora Daza. She's one of the pillars of culinary, Filipino culinary heritage. No? So that's why it's like a little bit of, ano lang yun, para lang as a pledge to her. But when I cook my own, I put a little bit of red wine, to be honest. So apart from that vinegar that cooks, I still add a little bit of red wine. So mas nabibrace siya. So I don't mean to sound alcoholic or anything, but it's not that, no? So we marinate it. Let's just make sure mainit yung pot. I like using medyo cast iron or ceramic pots para lang mas intense, no? Dutch oven will be better also para mas mabilis lumambot yung meat, no? So this one, as I put the beef later on, that's the only time I will season and salt and pepper. Okay? So we're just waiting for it to heat up. I hope you reviewed the recipe, which was flashed on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yan. So just making sure. So ito, expect natin na sobrang matagal. No, we have to braise the caldereta for quite a while because we have to break down, no? We have to break down the meat, the muscle of the meat, no, para mas lumambot. I'm just trying to make everything fit. There. Tatabi ka lang to. Okay. This is where I season it with pepper. And I'm going to put some salt. There. So you can see it, no, na medyo nagpa-brown na siya. Allow me. So, very nice. A bit emulsify na siya. Okay, then tatabi ko lang muna yung beef. So, dahil na-brown ko na siya, and then I will saute. So, if you see, yan yung mga maliit na part, masarap siyang palambutin. So, we know it's gonna take a little while, this dish, no? So, take a lot of patience because we need to break down, no, those muscles. So, there you go. Okay. So there. Since marami siyang allow me to replace this now. There you go. Let me just replace it. Just replacing the
Medyo mabigat siya.
mabigat na naman. Just gonna, but let's save that for later. So let us see. So, ito lang. I'm just drying it a little bit. Para makasutay tayo ng maayos. Onions. Olive oil. Bell peppers. onions. So, saute lang muna natin siya. Aromatics. Ayan. So, saute ko lang siya. And wait, let's alam ito. Okay. So, we want the ideal, of course, masarap siya with white onions. But diba nga, how to stop ang white onions. Red will do also. But, of course, if it's red, you want it to be a little bit, cook it a little bit longer. So that it's very translucent and very fragrant, no? Very soft yung kanyang taste, no? The onions, no? So we can make it. The onions kasi, the white onions is a little bit more fragrant and somehow it has more sugar, it tastes more sugary, no? More than spicy. So, okay, that's no problem. We'll just take this. And at this point, about 2 minutes already, no? So medyo nakasute na ng maayos. I'm going to add the beef again. Yeah. Mixing it together. Seasoning again with pepper. I know kanina, na-marinate na sa vinegar, no? But, allow me to just add a little bit of wine. So, probably half a cup. That will give it a lot of texture and body. So this one, ayaw mo naman pahalata na may red wine ang ating kaldereta. So you really have to wait for it to simmer and really reduce. So when you say reduce, nababawasan yung liquid, no? Before you cook it. Okay? So right now, at this point, when you smell it, naaamoy mo yung konti yung asim ng wine. That's the one thing that we want to disappear. And that will disappear as you just continue to simmer the wine and reduce the liquid. So, and as we reduce the liquid, that's when we keep on adding on more on the moisture of the meat, on the liquid of the meat. Kaya siya mas lumalambot and we break down the muscle as it goes along. Okay, so that's the scientific explanation for braising. So there, so let it just boil. Tapos later, we're gonna leave this, no, the camera. And then here is the laurel leaves. So if you notice it, ayan, malapit na siyang mawala. So siguro mga ano yan, 8 minutes until mawala. And totally, that's when I will slowly add the beef stock. So, and then when we do the beef stock, we let it simmer probably for like 30 minutes before I add the tomato sauce. Then I let it simmer for a few more minutes after that para mawala yung asin. So medyo matagal nga ang kaldereta. Since na-reduce na yung beef, na-reduce na yung ating I'm gonna add this. Just adding the beef ko yun. Or the beef stock. I'm sorry. So, okay. So ito, papaboil lang natin.
Paano na lang?
Siguro after 20 or 30 minutes, that's when I will add the tomatoes. Okay? So we'll leave it there. So it has been simmering for about 20 minutes already. So I'm just gonna add the tomato sauce together with the beef stock. Have that nice caldereta color. So we will simmer this, probably for another 15 minutes. Then we'll add the liver and the olives. Okay? So we'll simmer it a little bit more.
Madam,
So now we're gonna add the liver
yung olives na green.
to add body to the sauce. Okay.
Ulit.
And then we're gonna add the olives para mag-thicken yung ating sauce. And in this one, like what I said, you can use store-bought hot sauce. Actually, like using Tabasco, but there are other brands, though. When you look at hot sauce, iba-iba kasi yung pinanggagalingan niyang sili. Tayo, meron tayong siling labuyo. Ito, meron silang particular pepper na yun lang yung variety for them. So, iba-iba talaga ang lasa ng hot sauce. So, this one, I'm just gonna add konting-konti yan. Konting-konti lang yan. Diba? So, there. So, hindi ako nag-add ng sugar or anything sa caldereta. Alam ko mahilig tayo sa manamis-namis, but then later on, this is Nora Das' recipe. The only thing I altered from her recipe is I added red wine. And then later on, I will follow her recipe na meron akong cheese ilalagay. Some grated cheese. So we're just gonna wait for this to reach its boiling point. So once it boils, yung talagang vigorously boiling, that's when I add the cheese. So I think it's starting to boil a little bit. So in total, siguro it will be 45 to an hour when you make this dish. Of course, when you make a bigger batch, mas matagal, no? So there you go. Para magka-body, no? So importante yung liver. So sometimes this dish, you can top it with French fries if you want, or shoestring fries, bagay din siya. So you can do that also. You don't necessarily have to eat it with rice. Actually, you can eat it with bread if you wish. No? But syempre, if you want to do it for a food truck or a food cart type, we'd want to have a different presentation a little bit. No? So there. So now it's vigorously. I'm just gonna wait for it to vigorously boil for like 2 minutes before adding the cheese. Okay. Yan o, nakita mo na because we added the liver. So at this point, the beef, we're just waiting it, if you simmer it a little bit more, it will still be full of the bone tender, but right now it's just right, no? There's still a little bit of a bite, no, when you bite into it, because it's a tough kind of meat, no? So when I say there's a little bit of bite, hindi naman yung may resistance, no, but still, no, there's still a bite. It's not that soft yet. So I'm just gonna add the cheese to add more body, no, to the sauce. Okay, there you go. And the creaminess of the quick melt actually will at least neutralize whatever acidity or tartiness from the tomato sauce. Okay. So we'll just increase the heat and leave it for 5 minutes, and we're ready to plate this. Plate na namin the cheese, no? So I'm just gonna add a little bit of pepper. Now we will do our plating. So again, this is the Gasa recipe. I'm just gonna add some pepper. It's very flavorful, no? So as that's simmering, I will start plating it for the fruit.
Masarap na yan. Yan, mamaya. Yung pera.
So para medyo masauce siya. Okay. And then we're just gonna grate some cheese. So I'm just garnishing it with some cheese because it's cheaper. Now if you're gonna do it in a food truck. And then now for the bistro, for the casual dining. We're just gonna put some olives because olives is really what makes that distinct caldereta taste. And of course, I had some marinated pimientos. So if you want a little bit more of spice, you can have it with every bite. So this is good for sharing for 2 people. You just have rice on the side. And that's your caldereta for casual dining or bistro style, and for our food truck. Okay, so now let me try it a little bit. So let me just... Very flavorful yung sauce. And you can get the distinct taste of olives. And the cheese made it creamier. So nawawala or neutralize yung sourness or tartiness of the tomato sauce. So enjoy it. Our chicken broth, so whatever is here, we'll actually shred it and add it later, no? The chicken broth. So we leave it to simmer, and while it's simmering, we'll start making our molo, no? Oh. Okay, so now we're just gonna get 1/4 kilo of beef, of pork. I'm gonna add some shrimps na nakatadtad, singkamas, chives, salt, but not so much, and then egg, no? And then we're gonna mix it all together. The egg will be the one that will bind it, no? So we're doing this as we're waiting for the chicken to
to fall off the bone and make a beautiful chicken broth. So there, we'll just mix it all up. Okay. It's easier. Just one hand. This is the wet. Just to make sure. So if you want to be, if you're not sure on the measurement, what you could do is you could use this. Easy, di ba? Para mas madali mag-estimate. Just actually stick the ends together. No? Diagonally, corner to corner. So this. And then this. See? And later on, we're going to mix it with the soup. Okay. So we just finish this. Now you continue to finish this. So anyway, the broth is ready. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna shred the chicken so we can reuse it. We don't throw anything. Kanina I put some garlic. So I just put it here so so just use a knife, a spoon and fork to shred it. We're just gonna shred it. Ibabalik natin yung chicken, no? Para malaman yung ating soup. Perfect on rainy days. There are some molo recipe na may achwete, no? They use achwete seeds or anato seeds. Sometimes they do that. Okay. Because Ivan's continuing to do that, I'm just gonna add the carrots here. Just gonna add the carrots. Tapos syempre, ang palasa, I'm going to add this. So, it's about 2 tablespoons. This. I'm gonna add the chicken. Hindi na tayo mag-add. Then we will add the MOLO soup. My green onions. So I'll add them. I'll add here. So let's wait for this to vigorously boil before adding the molo. Saltiness, it's okay. So, at this time, the broth talagang nag-seep yung taste ng celery, no? You can really taste it in the broth. And then katamtaman lang yung ilinagay natin na patis. So you can really taste that layer, no, of celery. So parang meron siyang parang seed na part, no? Parang crisp part. So now that this is vigorously boiling, I'm just gonna drop it slowly and add our molo. So, molo is actually very easy to prepare. Matagal lang talaga yung preparation na marami kang gagawin na steps, no? So what you can do in advance is actually just prepare the broth, no, and store it, because it could still have a lot of uses. Okay. So this one will be very quick. As soon as it's floating, then you know it's fine. So probably about 4 to 5 minutes. So we'll just wait for it to set.
Manang Nora.
She's very smart. Imagine yung recipe niya. Ilang years na to. No? Sinor. So there, I'm just gonna add that. And now we're ready to plate it. Just give it another minute. So be prepared already. Picture pa ko na. Okay, so this is for the food truck. The broth is very clear. There you go. And then for the food truck, you can probably add some crispy garlic. And maybe we can try some more. So there you go. And then for the bistro style, just put a nice soup pot. You can plate it. There. And you can beautify it by having small dishes, and the guests can put their own, how garlicky they want it to be, and if they want to add a little bit taste of chive. So this is for the casual dining or bistro style, and this is for the food truck. So that's our MOLO soup. Now let's taste it. Let's taste it. Let me taste. The broth is very clean, tasty. And of course, the added garlic crunch added another layer of taste into that celery taste of the whole broth. And let me try the molo. Still very hot. So the molo wrapper, very soft. Hindi siya nag-break, thank God. No? So let me just crack it open. Kasi mainit. So there you go. Sarap ng patis. Very, very flavorful. And the molo is perfectly soft, no? Just right, not too mushy, not it cracks, no? It was really cooked very well. So perfect when you're feeling sick, or hot soup, or any meal of the day. Enjoy MOLO soup.